Hello there, I'm Martin Cross, FISA's World Rowing TV commentator, former Olympic champion a long while ago, and this is my blog about my top 10 rowing moments from 2016. What a year it's been for the sport, Olympic year, loads of stuff going on, and really there was a surfeit of moments I could have chosen, but these are my top 10 and I'll explain why. Number 10, Murray and Bond win the Olympics. Why is that there? Well, the world's most amazing ever pair, 69 races, unbeaten, that Rio win ahead of South Africa. What a story that was, too, with the South African Keeling recovering from cancer just a couple of years ago. But Murray and Bond, will never see them row again, I don't think, not in a pair anyway. They had the most amazing time since that first race when they beat Hodge and Reed back in 2009 in the heat at Munich. An incredible record, an average time I think of around 6 minutes 29 seconds for all those races. It was just an incredible record, and for me that was my 10th moment. Number 9, Magdalena. What can I say? I was doing a commentary in Brandenburg on the women's singles sculls. She won that final. It was an incredible race because the conditions were unbelievably rough. Most people wouldn't have even gone out in, not let alone race. But Lobnig was sensational. She was racing a couple of Olympic champions, Karsten and Napkova from the Czech Republic. She just killed everybody. She didn't let the conditions get on top of her. The boat was just rocking from side to side, but she was loose, she was fluid. She won by miles, I think, from the Latvian and Puspura from Ireland, but it was an amazing performance, a real wow performance. Next at number 8, the Aussie Crab, the Aussie Crab at Lucerne. On the line, it gave the victory to Britain. It was a fantastic race. I just recently learned that Jürgen Grobler didn't want his British 4 to go and race in Lucerne. Alex Gregory was ill. They had a super sub, Callum McBriety, and the 4 basically sort of pushed back on Jürgen, said, we want to go, we want to race. And you know, what a great decision it was, because although I think the Aussies would have won it, the British crew were coming right through at the end of the race. There's a question mark over it, but it was a dramatic crab by Josh Dunkley-Smith, tremendous to commentate on, and really exciting. And I just think it just showed the excitement of our sport right at the top end. And of course, that British-Australian rivalry continued to the Olympics, where the British 4 won a gold medal. Again, rough water out on the Lago Rodrigo de Freitas in Rio. Kenya Lechuga, the Mexican single sculler, a little lightweight, in those horrendous conditions of the heats in Rio. She beat the nailed on Olympic favourite to win gold, Kimberly Brennan, who couldn't cope. The Aussie couldn't cope with the rough water. I don't know who could. Kenya Lechuga could. She was miles out in the first heat. It was a sensational performance, a real upset. It basically put Lechuga through into the last 12 of the women's singles sculls. Incredible for Mexico, and it was a sensational upset, and that is my number 7 moment. Number 6, got to be in there somewhere, the Russian drug scandal. Boy, was that news. We first heard, I think sometime in early July, that Sergei Fedorov, the stroke of Mike Spracklin's quadruple skull, had been tested positive for a banned drug by the Russian Federation. Now, whether you can trust that result, I don't know, but it meant the Russian quad skull was out of the Olympics, and New Zealand got a place in those games for New Zealand quad skull as a result of that. Then we had the mind-blowing revelations of the McLaren report and state-sponsored doping in Russia. Following from that, FISA's reaction was one of the strongest, I think, of all the Olympic sports, which said, well, we can only trust the results of 6 Russian rowers. Out went the Russian women's 8, out went the Russian men's lightweight 4, a whole bunch of crews just went out. It left Russia with just 6 rowers. They cobbled together a 4, which didn't really come anywhere. It was a shocking revelation. Of course, it meant that things like the Italian men's 8, the Aussie women's 8, the Greek lightweight 4 all got to compete, which was fantastic, but mind-blowing revelations. And that's my moment number 6. Moment number 5, Nearhouse getting disqualified at Henley. It was a fantastic race, brilliant. Nearhouse on the bad station, the Buckinghamshire station. The far side had more stream, slightly unfavoured against the home favourites Leander, and Nearhouse caned it all the way down. Across the line, the umpire, Boris Rankov, refused to hold up a white flag, and in fact he was encouraging Leander to raise an objection. What he wanted to do, he was furious. He thought that Diederik Simon, the Dutch men's coach, had been giving instructions to his crew quite from far back, and after 2 hours we heard that Nearhouse were disqualified. There was a meeting with stewards. It was so controversial. It was a fantastic race, a very sad way to end it. I didn't particularly agree with the disqualification verdict. I could understand it, but such drama, such drama. I was absolutely chuffed to see the Dutch 8 win the under-23s with some of those men at Henley on board, and of course Diederik Simon coaching them. But high drama. Take a look at the race on Henley's YouTube channel. Amazing contest. And then, well, I think moment number 4, another from Henley. It was one of the most sensational single sculls races that I've seen. Mahe Drysdale, the favourite perhaps to win Olympic gold in Rio, the London 2012 champion, beaten by Hannah Sobrano, the Belgian. To be fair, Sobrano had the best station, the Berkshire station, the near side. But Mahe Drysdale really threw everything at Sobrano. Sobrano was sculling beautifully, so connected, beautiful on the front end. And really, I think, well, a couple of 100 metres, 200 or 300 metres from the end, Drysdale cracked. Sobrano won the Diamond Single Sculls. It was an amazing result, earthquaking run. I had loads of text or tweets, what the hell is going on, from lots of rowers like Norway's Olaf Tufte. It was fantastic to commentate on, and a big upset. That was my moment number 4. Moment number 3, Fularczyk and Medage, the Poles winning the Olympic double sculls final. Incredible race. Catherine Granger and Vicky Thornley led almost all the way, and the Poles really broke their hearts. Britain's women double had a nightmare season. Absolutely, they turned it round to lead that Olympic final. Nobody expected to see that, but I don't think anybody expected to see Fularczyk and Medage just dominate that sprint in for the line, get their bows in front. It was Poland's first ever women's rowing medal in the Olympics, I think, and of course their quad one as well. But a sensational sprint from the line from a double who aren't particularly that big. Magical race, and fantastic to see Poland take that title. Number 2, well, has to be the Donovan Brothers. Those 2 guys have been sensational for the sport of rowing. As I speak, they are stars in Ireland. They're a team of the year. They've had their own TV programme, Pull Like a Dog. They're on the Graham Norton show in the UK. They are just amazing, and of course over 1 million hits. Millions of people have seen their videos where genuinely their sense of humour, they wear their crown, the Olympic silver medal they won from the French, very lightly. They're down to earth, they're funny, they're humorous, they're very Irish. It has been fantastic for the sport. If rowing could produce stars like that in different nations, we would have a sport with such a high profile. The Donovan brothers have done a fantastic job for the sport. I don't know if it'll ever be the same again, and do so look forward to seeing what they're going to do in the future. That was my moment number 2, that interview, which kind of kicked it all off at Rio. Moment number 1, no prizes for guessing. Mahe versus Damir. Oh my God, will there ever be another race like it? Don't think so. Coming into the last 500, well, we thought the race was going to be between Drysdale and Sinek for the Olympic gold medal. Everybody thought that. Damian Martin was sculling so well. Sinek was in there at 1,000 metres, but in the third quarter, Mahe did his characteristic push, moved away from the field, kind of a length up coming into the last 500. Sinek was in trouble. Damian Martin was going through him, and for all the world, it kind of looked right. That's the 1, 2, 3. But in the last 500, what an incredible sprint from Damian Martin just to come up to Drysdale. And then it looked like Drysdale was going to hold him off coming into the last couple of 100 metres. Then Damian Martin went again. Unbelievable season that the Croatian had had. And for everything, as they crossed the line, it was, oh my God, Damian Martin's beaten Drysdale. He's become Olympic champion. And then the weight and that photo finish, both scullers with the same time. And an incredible 0.02 of a second, I think it was, on the photo finish that worked out just on the surge that Mahe Drysdale had got his bows in front. Incredible race. #1 moment of rowing, I think, not just for me, but probably for most of you guys out there in 2016. What a season. Can't wait to see what happens next year, 2017.